What we have here is a machine that might be familiar to some people, but if you're new to this channel, you may have not seen it yet. This is the Hewlett-Packard Vectra 486-66U, and what makes this thing special and not just another boring beige 486 is that this is an EISA-based system. Now, if you want to know more about EISA and the system itself, I've uploaded videos about this thing in the past. You can check out the video description for links to these videos. But this is going to be a quick little power-up. This thing has spent months. Let's see, I would have put it out there probably in June or thereabouts. And I didn't bring it back in until roughly about a month ago. So it spent a lot of time outside in the heat of the garage and, temperature swings and all of that. So it will be interesting to see if it actually happens to still work. So I've got it all hooked up and almost ready to go. I just, of course, need to get the keyboard, which is buried underneath 6 feet of crap. So, let's see. I'm going to have to set the KVM, so I'll be back here in a second, and then we should be ready to go. Okay, KVM should be set. Input not supported. Alright, there we go. See the memory count here. This thing has, I believe, 16 megabytes of installed memory. Yes. That floppy drive doesn't sound very nice. Amazingly enough, I haven't configured this thing or touched it, but that super capacitor on the motherboard is still actually working. Look at that. It's amazing, Anyway, we can go into Windows quickly. See Windows there. And the PC speaker sound driver. This thing has, to the best of my knowledge, a Western Digital 1.6 gigabyte hard drive. So I don't think it would actually tell me any information about it. Check disk. No, it just says MS-DOS 6. So yeah, we don't really know a whole lot about it. It is a 1.6 gigabyte drive though. I'm pretty sure this is my 21600. So here's this system, which like I said, you've seen this one before. I have videos uploaded of it. I guess it's like a PC speaker test button. I don't know. I never really did understand that one. So I didn't actually need the EISA configuration utility. And ordinarily this would be a really short video. But you know that there is more. That's right. Good things always come in pairs. So let's get this one up on the bench. Now this one, I know nothing about it other than what I've been able to see from the outside. I've never had it open. And I did make an EISA configuration utility for this one. It may or may not have the necessary configuration files on it. I don't know. However, that being said, it's a less capable unit, 486-33U. And of course that indicates that it's got a 33 megahertz 486, probably a DX if I had to guess. It might be an SX. I'm not sure, but given that it's a business machine, that probably would have cost somebody a whole lot of money back when it was new. It's probably a DX. You got a 3.5-inch floppy that I just pulled the floppy out of. I've been using that as convenient storage for that floppy, but otherwise it looks pretty much exactly the same. If we go ahead and flip it around here, assuming that I can actually do so in my limited workbench area. Again, it's not in perfect, it's not like museum grade condition or anything like that, but I don't really need museum grade condition, so here we go. We'll go ahead and have a quick look, see. Again, everything is pretty much the same as the 486-66U, as it certainly should be. You have your PS2 keyboard mouse, your BIOS lock, which I think is locked. I don't know if my other one is locked. I think it is, though. Parallel port, 2 serial, and here's why I was using the KVM switch. There's the VGA port. As you can see, it is very definitely missing a pin there, which makes it pretty much impossible to plug in a standard VGA cable. As you can see there, has got all 15 pins. I mean, you could cut the pin out. It's not like it ruins the VGA cable forever or anything like that. It looks like I've been robbed a couple boards here. I have no idea what that is supposed to mean. Well, I know what I/O board means, but I don't know what parpally means, or whatever that is. Probably parallel, perhaps. ADDA board, that's an analog to digital converter, and also digital to analog, goes both ways. And an IEEE board, that would be pretty much the same thing that I have in mind. That's a GPIO card. And this is the interesting bit here. This is a SCSI board. I'm interested to know if that is actually an EISA SCSI board, or if that is just some random Adaptec ISA thing that somebody pilfered out of some computer somewhere along the way. So we're going to find out. Let's pop the cover. Yeah, there it is with the cover removed. The cover is not easy to remove, but it's not difficult either, as long as you know what you're doing. Here's the hard drive here. This is what it's supposed to look like, unlike mine, which has broken plastic all over it, because mine was dropped, unfortunately. But, there's one thing. This power supply just hinges upwards. To reveal more of the board, and yes, that is in fact a 486DX CPU down there. It also reveals the RAM. This one's not as nearly as well equipped as mine is, or the other one. It's only got 2 memory modules. I think it's got 4 megabytes total, possibly 8, but I cannot remember for certain. It does not appear as though there is a clock module. Somebody was mentioning, I think it was NJ Roadfan was mentioning, that most of these EISA systems use Dallas real-time clock modules, but I can't say as though I've actually found one, either on this one or on the other one. So, I mean, I haven't really looked totally at every little piece of the board, but I'm really starting to wonder if that is it. I think it is, and I think that's a capacitor, and that is what is used to hold the date and time settings as well as the real-time clock checksum. Alright, so here's our SCSI card, and yes, in fact, insofar as I can tell, this is an EISA SCSI card. I mean, I can't prove that, but we'll power it up and we'll be able to figure that out. I am going to be getting some slot blanks out for this system, so that way it's, got the blanks. Unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot I can do about screws, using the special screws, because I simply just don't have them. But anyway, let's go ahead and see what hard drive this is, because like I said, I've never been inside this one. So I don't know for sure what all it's got hardware-wise. Oh boy. A Connor Peripheral CP30100. I had one of these that didn't work, so it'll be amazing if this one does. There's a slot down there, or a connection down there for an outboard battery, so yeah, I'm really wondering about the idea that this thing has a Dallas module in it. Again, I don't see one, so unless it's tucked underneath this cage, which I'm not going to pull out because I'm not that dedicated, I'm going to assume that that down there is what comprises the real-time battery. I'm pretty sure it's a supercapacitor. So, here's the floppy controller is on the top, and the IDE is on the bottom. If you happen to tear or lose that ribbon cable going to the floppy drive, good luck, because that is a proprietary cable, as is, I believe, the connection going to the motherboard for the power supply. So if the power supply blows up, which, I mean, it shouldn't. It's a very high-quality model from Aztec Custom Power. There should be no reason why this would ever blow up. But if it does, you may be having a problem. Now, of course, you could trace the pinout, as long as you know what the pinout is. So I'm going to put this back in, I'm going to get the slot blank situation straightened out, and then I'm going to put the cover on and we'll fire it up and see if it works. Okay, so I've decided I put the slot blanks in place. This one's kind of a little not technically correct, but it's there, so I really don't care. Because the screws certainly aren't correct either. But I've decided I'm going to leave the cover off for the first power on. Just because, why not? So, without further ado, the system has power. If I can actually get the keyboard here, because again, it's buried in 6 feet of crap. It is getting power. You know, thinking about it, I am overdue for having a computer blow up in my face. Okay, actually that's not quite true. I did have one blow up on me earlier today, but regardless, hopefully that will save me from that kind of a fate. With this one, I'd hate for it to happen to this. The other one, you know, is not all that interesting. Here we go. Well, the hard drive just spun up. Input not supported. Aha! There we go. And the hard drive does actually seem to work. I was right, 4 megabytes of memory. No way! It actually still has the settings intact? Okay, this is interesting. It must have been used for some kind of digital pattern recorder. Yeah, it was probably used for some kind of special thing. Probably actually to interface with a plotter. So you can see that there. Let's go ahead and have a look-see here. Very nice volume name. 120 megabyte hard drive, and of that, probably about 50 megabytes used. I don't know if there's any data still on here or not. I'm certainly not going to look at it on video, but there is Windows. That's what happens when we try to start Windows. I am going to run the HP EISA configuration utility on it just to make sure that it was configured properly, because I don't know. So now I gotta find the mouse in this mess of crap. Assuming it would even work. Well, the mouse does actually work. It's probably the only time you'll ever see an optical mouse used on a 486. Again, I'm going to try and be a little bit careful about what I show here. I don't think it's in high color mode. I think it's just using the, yeah, it's just using the standard VGA driver. You can also check on that here. Yeah, use VGA. Logitech mouse, so they saw fit to configure it like that instead of Microsoft, but, alright, so I'm going to go ahead and boot it to the EISA configuration utility just to make sure that it is actually configured properly. Enhanced. Well, the floppy drive can't be too bad. It looks like it is actually trying to boot to it. So, with any luck, this will work. Slowly. This camera is not really liking this. Let me turn off this light. I might be able to... Well, that didn't really help. I'm going to configure the computer. Run configuration utility. I don't know if the correct file is on this floppy or not. It's going to be interesting to add it because most of my computers don't actually have functional floppy drives. Yeah, that floppy drive sounds like crap. It might not be configured properly. It might still be configured to have everything. Huh. It must be configured right. Everything looks fine to me. Slot 3 and is EISA. ID 7. Bus reset. Everything should be fine. So that should be it. I don't think I need to really do anything. I probably should have set the date and time. That's probably my big mistake. I might do that here. Just make sure, yeah, the date and time is not correct. Here it is with the cover installed, just so you can get an idea for what it actually sounds like. I've left it running for a little bit, just to let it charge up its internal capacitor, or battery, such as the case may be, if such a thing is even required. But I think that's really going to do it for this video, so thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off. And I hope to see you next time. Till then.